My standpoint on research stems from an instinctive and an uncontrollable desire to know the world through the lens of human resource and positive psychology. I used to actually maintain my research diary as a big book of unproven theories. The secret is to keep writing and improving. Never ever we should consider research as a journey of isolation. Over the next several years, I have plans for three major research areas.
Hi everyone, I'm your host Shikha Jain and I welcome you all to the next episode of Inkpot Hub Media. In this video, you'll come to know about the secret behind writing and publishing ABDC category papers. Our today's guest has published more than 100 peer-reviewed international journals. Yes, you heard it right. More than 100 international journals, out of which more than 70 are of A, B and C category. I'm talking about Dr. Lalatendu Kesari Jaina, who is currently working as assistant professor at Xavier School of HRM Bhubaneswar. He has more than 18 years of experience in both academics and corporate. He has completed his PhD from IIT Kharagpur, India, and is currently pursuing his postdoctorate at Loyola Leadership School, Spain. During his PhD, he has bagged Best Research Paper Award at International Business Research Conference at IMI New Delhi and International Conference on Organization and Management at Abu Dhabi, UAE. Let's hear his secret mantra behind all this. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you to Team Inkpot Hub. So I'm glad that I'm with you today.
We have so many questions to ask you, and the very most important question which is in my mind is, you have published so many research papers, articles. The list is very, very long. So this is really amazing and inspiring. How have you achieved this?
Let me revisit. As a child, my passion was reading. On my weekly visit to the town library, because I belong to a place called Barampur, Odisha. So I visit the town library over there. During my childhood days, I took out as many books and periodicals as I could. And over the years, I read actually from one end of the section to the other. And of course, later I have got an affinity. I started loving the subject called humanities and social science. That happened to be in my school days. I vividly remember when my father first taught me about Sepoy Mutiny, the Indian rebellion of 1857, during my 5th grade. So I was utterly mesmerized by the intricate interplay of British paramountcy. That is like the belief in the British dominance in Indian political, economic and cultural life, and the breakdown of the traditional structure of Indian society, from which it has emerged as a strong middle class. And it has basically heightened the sense of Indian nationalism. So my idea of this scientific research at that time was to go on expeditions to historical sites around the state of Odisha, because as I am stationed over here, I used to talk to people around and exploring their thoughts and feelings towards such glorious history. So it was exciting for me to wonder how historians actually quench their curiosity, and after things that interview them, be it the people, events, key dates and places. That's what I recall. My father being a historian, he used to do the same thing. So I got a deep appreciation for the field of history. So history itself is a multifaceted discipline that encourages one's cultural awareness and moral understanding of the world we live in. So from a very generous space of studying the subject during my school days, I have gained some transferable skills. That's like an informed citizenships, a critical thinking, and thus Later, I chose to pursue my higher study in the field of industrial relations and personnel management. I had 100 queries in my mind at that point. And I was very fortunate to have a great HR teacher during my post-graduation and MPhil days. He is no more now. He is Professor Gurucharan Patro. He once said that human resource management is like casting a movie. With the right actors in the right role, a movie is far more prone to find a good audience and be a box office hit. But the wrong actors, though, is almost certainly a path to box office failure. So on many occasions, he has not only answered my understanding on human needs, but he has further fueled my interest in knowing why people behave the way they do. And that can help actually companies to build the right thing sooner. I think this is what the takeaway I have got it from him. And later, fast forward a few years with academic and corporate assignment for more than a decade or so, I felt that I should pull time for me to plunge into actual field research. So let me confess over here. When you asked a question, I have always feel that I am an adventurer, a rebel to an extent. So resisting the hand of authority and a bit of rigidity of working in conventional ways. So yeah, the journey started during my stint at the Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, India. My standpoint on research actually stems from an instinctive and an uncontrollable desire to know the world through the lens of human resource and positive psychology. Okay. And obviously, during my tenure of doctoral research, I never sat as a mute participant. I felt research and publication actually has been a way to engage with the world more actively in order to know it better. So in this, with the guidance and support of my doctoral guide, Professor Rabindra Kumar Pradhan of IIT Kharagpur, India, I have moved towards the notion of research and precisely writing. Okay. Public as a search for meaning rather than restricting myself to the relatively more evident world of observations. So therefore, my journey towards publication got started in 2014 precisely. Oh. So it's 6 years by now. Well, when you asked about publication, I can say that publication is a brutal part of one's research because the rejection rate of manuscript is over 99% when you think about A, B, C category journals. But I believe that aspiring researchers do not despair. The secret is to keep writing and improving. That's what I have taken up forward for my craft. Then time I listened to the advice of my doctoral guide. I have got a very good peer scholar friends of mine. You may see in all the papers, you may be finding out a score of people around, and they are actually my peer scholars at then time. Oh. And above all of us endured up. Sometimes back, I was telling one of my co-scholar friend of mine that never ever we should consider research as a journey of isolation. We can collaborate and we can do together. And let's have that never give up. And this is a motto actually I stick.
So, Dr. Jaina, you also have a very rich industry experience. How does it help in your research?
Personally, during my stint as a HR in Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, HAL, a Navaratna Defense PSU, I have seen design engineers and managers. They are greatly translating some of the basic research into impactful applications and observing them passionately working there feels that there has a lot of rooms for creativity and discovery. So my corporate experience for working at HAL actually has opened my eyes to how academics could do things differently and better. My curiosity to foray into the field of research has forced me to be more productive while I was working there. It's more about scheduling my time carefully, prioritizing my factory related HR assignment, and protecting time for my research studies. And more importantly, during that period of time, I cleared my UGC JRF.
Okay.
So one of the things I love about the domain of HR is that it is constantly growing and changing. My industry experience actually is a testimony to learn from compliance with say corporate driven policies to technology and employee expectations. Secondly, the people that I worked with in the field of talent engagement and development, precisely learning and development, which I have worked in HAL, the field wherein I worked in HAL. I have had the honor of working with some of the most dedicated HR and L&D professionals in the field.
Okay.
So, and was a part actually to solve a problem, HR problem, precisely providing required resources, whatever the position that I was in. So what I can extend it to them from the best possible extent from my side, improving a process to the benefit to the internal customers in the field of L&D. So on the question of how my industry experience helps me in my research, I can say that one of the mantra is negotiation.
Oh.
Negotiation with time and energy.
Wow.
And obviously a creative mind can enable an industry professional to orchestrate even the most unusual employment arrangements and can drive their research agenda. That's what the concept that have brought me through in during my industrial stint.
Dr. Jain, recently you have published an A category paper. The title was very interesting: Abusive Supervision and Intention to Quit. So how do you decide on these interesting topics?
Okay, well, the paper that you are referring to, the idea shaper of this topic actually owes to my mentor and my dear senior scholar friend of mine, Professor Sajid Pradhan of IIM Trichy.
Okay.
Quote unquote, I would like to refer my countless interactions with him to drive this concept and publish our research findings.
Okay.
If I can recall, referring to one of my telephonic conversation with Professor Sajid was like, he questioned at a point of time that why several individuals actually they tolerate abuses, they tolerate humiliations, they tolerate the hardships without giving up on their goal or the organization. Apparently, this is a question that has come to our minds during spring of 2016.
Okay.
So while observing the professionals around us in India, we have got a very firm belief that those who derive great deal of meaning from their work must have been more connected to their work and have made considerable investment in terms of time, effort, or they might have sacrificed their personal goal and ambitions to abandon their work because of an abusive supervisor. So let me tell you that abusive supervision, as you have mentioned, that is it an interesting topic. So therefore, let me tell you that abusive supervision actually says about the holistic actions of managers actually towards their subordinates, comprising of a varied actions. We have seen people talking to us during our sample survey. They were saying that our definition of abusive supervision is when somebody is belittling mine, or undermining or yelling. It is like, sometimes boss comes and yells at an employee and employee cannot shout back, as there is a risk of getting fired or suspended. So normally what employees do is they vent anger and frustration on the organization in many ways, such as demonstration of a combination of, say, low self-control or a high intention to quit. That's what our research topic is.
Oh, nice.
So more precisely, it should come as no surprise that the victims of abusive supervision are likely to commit the different acts of organizational deviances, sabotage, shirking of duty. So we have got around 6 to 7 publications on this concept by now.
Okay.
For example, one of our research paper in this context got published in Development and Learning in Organization, which is an Emerald publisher of UK, which talks about how to compensate for the reduced self-esteem that occurs as a result of abusive supervision. A preventive, in that paper, a preventive intervention model actually we came out with it, which encompasses both preemptive and reactive measures to counter the abusive supervision. So this was widely been accepted also. So if as the paper we are talking about it, something I would like to also add on. Suppose say for handling an abusive supervisor, one of the tips is like, I would extend it to the audiences over there through our talk over here, is to shift our focus. Shift our focus. That is what needs to be done. Well, how we should do it? It goes as like the more emotional power you give it to your toxic boss, the more your boss will focus on you as a target. So a bully is more interested in reading your vibe actually than analyzing your performance. So if your boss never gets your eye contact, he or she never gets the invitations to, to come into your emotional space. So when you focus solely on the task of your role, you stop giving up the vibe of fear and anxiety over gaining approval from your boss. So that's what I thought of sharing it to you, in addition to what this paper is throwing up to our readers.
Nice. Dr. Jena, you have also received many international awards for your research contribution. One of those were International Business Research Conference, Bhubaneswar, and one was in International Conference of Organization and Management, Abu Dhabi. So, how does it feel when your work is recognized globally?
I constantly try to create a research process actually that is truly collaborative and expansive. So this awareness actually has helped me to build a network of something called as an amazing collaborators during my research journey. So, work getting recognized globally, all credit goes to my peer friends to get this get such recognitions. I must say it is a collective feeling of accomplishment and also a thirst for more. I believe that getting recognized brings in me specifically a calmness and confidence to pursue more such scholastic work.
What is your message to the fellow researchers or the people who aspire to be like you and make some mark in the research space?
Okay. This is a very heavily loaded question. Well, curiosity is only the first step for creating oneself in a research space. For me, I love coming up with ideas for new research project now and then. It's like, whenever I talk to my peer researchers, we used to discuss in terms of defining a research problem, scoping out with a research project, pitching to potential collaborators for their support and involvement. Nowadays, I am tying up with different, research funding agencies for that, and then placing a proposal to get it approved. In last couple of years, I got to be associated with Advent FIS Memorial of US and Indian Council of Social Science Research of New Delhi for raising academic and sponsored research projects.
Okay.
So being able to collaborate a great deal with industry is also thrilling. That's also I would like to share it as a message to the fellow researcher who are going to grow as a researcher, as an academician. Because personally, I have devoted my time in academic breaks last couple of years and during this pandemic year also, in terms of field survey. So last year, obviously, I got to be traveling around meeting practitioners across Indian industries. 6 working papers also got generated in due course. That is the magic of it. That is the beauty of it. That's what I would like to share it to my fellow researchers. And they are all been in the production pipeline with some index journals. Quality research basically demands an enormous amount of commitment in terms of time, energy, and creativity.
So you're already heading towards your next century of research papers. But I still want to ask, what is your plan ahead? Where do you want to take it ahead?
Oh, I used to actually maintain my research diary, basically, and pen there the ideas for research that I used to get it from my peer scholar friends, which the diary I call as a big book of unproven theories. Something that pops in while in discussion, which happens to be as a potential research topic. Immediately I talk to some of my peer friends, collaborate, drive the idea to outline it, discuss in terms of what we know about the topic, how can we approach studying it, what it would mean if we could answer the question, what are the implications. When we think about implications, we think in terms of 3 implications: the theoretical implications, practical implications, and the societal implications at large. So all those things we keep in mind, do back and forth, and then start designing the research paper. So one of the perk of an academic life, what I feel at this moment of time, is the opportunity to interact with the young and bright student, most of whom are at the threshold of stepping into the real world. I think that's the great opportunity I get it, being a part of Xavier School of Human Resource Management, Xavier University. It gives me immense satisfaction and joy that I, as an academician, will have the privilege to take part in their initial stage of their journey. I will stick to my said goal for next few years, as this strategy actually will provide me a platform for improving my own skills, both in terms of expressing myself as well as be a great source of research ideas. So therefore, over the next several years, I have plans for 3 major research areas. First, I'll keep updating the emerging HR happenings, the behavioral science techniques that evolves in our field, and its related materials. Second, I will also search for creative action research that can lead to successful grant and funding support and publish in reputed journals. Finally, in keeping with my past and current research experience, I will continue to incorporate my research findings and learnings in my undergraduate or postgraduate student and doctoral scholar guidance and learners.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jaina. We wish you all the luck and success ahead.
So much.
Thank you for your time.
On the YouTube app and never miss another update.